Today I want to talk about something powerful, something that stands in the way of our dreams, our goals, and our potential excuses. We all have dreams. We all want to do something extraordinary with our lives. But too often there's a nagging voice in our heads that says, you can't, it's too hard, you don't have the time, or you're just not good enough, and that voice, my friends, is our own excuses. Today we're here to talk about why it's time to kill those excuses once and for all. Excuses are powerful barriers that keep us from realizing our potential. Each time we make an excuse, we limit what we can achieve, restrict our growth, and reinforce boundaries that only exist because we created them. Potential is an open field full of possibilities, talents, and growth, but excuses narrow this field, closing us off from opportunities that would otherwise be within our grasp. Imagine that you have a goal, a vision for your life that excites you and inspires you, but then reality kicks in, and along with it comes the litany of reasons why it can't be done. I don't have the time, I'm not talented enough, I'll start tomorrow, people will judge me. And I don't have the resources, or just a few. These phrases sound familiar because we all use them, often without even noticing. But each time we do, we give power to self-imposed limitations. We tell ourselves that circumstances have more control over our lives than we do, which is the very definition of limiting potential. Excuses often arise from a fear of the unknown. When we want something deeply, the stakes feel higher, and so does the risk of failure. We fear being inadequate, falling short, or simply not knowing what to do. And while these fears are entirely human, excuses become our way of avoiding discomfort. If we claim we don't have the resources to start a project, we protect ourselves from the vulnerability of starting, of making mistakes, and potentially of failing. But while excuses may provide temporary comfort, they take a toll over time. The longer we hide behind them, the smaller our world becomes, and the less we believe in our potential. Consider the impact of consistently telling ourselves that we lack time. Time is a finite resource, and how we use it reflects our priorities. Yet many of us have dreams that remain unpursued simply because we believe we don't have time. When we repeat this excuse, we deny ourselves the opportunity to restructure our schedule, to prioritize what matters, and to make sacrifices for what we want. Potential doesn't fade because of lack of talent or ability, it fades because of inaction. And this particular excuse about not having enough time exemplifies how powerful excuses can be in keeping us passive and unmotivated. Instead of challenging our routines, we accept a fixed mindset that prevents us from finding creative solutions. Another excuse that limits our potential is the belief that we aren't good enough, skilled enough, or knowledgeable enough to reach our goals. This excuse is a product of self-doubt and often a fear of comparison. We see people who have already achieved what we want, and instead of being inspired, we feel intimidated. The gap between where we are and where we want to be feels insurmountable, so we settle for inaction rather than improvement. But the truth is, the journey to mastering any skill or reaching any goal starts with a single, often imperfect step. If we keep using the excuse that we're not enough, we'll never allow ourselves to become enough. Growth happens outside our comfort zone, yet excuses are designed to keep us safely within it, which is why they're so destructive to our potential. Excuses also restrict our ability to innovate and to adapt. Many people avoid trying something new or pushing their limits because they believe the conditions aren't right. They might say, I don't have the right equipment, I don't know the right people, or I'm not in the right people, or I'm not in the right environment. These excuses put our dreams on hold while we wait for perfect circumstances. However, if we look at the lives of successful people, we find that they rarely waited for ideal conditions. Instead, they found ways to work with what they had and adapted as they grew. By using excuses to justify our inaction, we rob ourselves of the chance to get creative, to experiment, and to learn from experience. One of the most harmful aspects of excuses is how they reinforce self-limiting beliefs. Each time we say, I can't, our subconscious mind absorbs that message, making it part of our identity. Over time, we come to believe these limitations as facts rather than perceptions we have the power to change. If we constantly tell ourselves, I'll never be successful because I'm too shy, we reinforce the idea that shyness is a fixed trait rather than a characteristic that can be managed. If we claim, I'll never be healthy because I don't have the discipline, we solidify an identity that aligns with that statement. Excuses make these beliefs feel real, yet they're often far from the truth. Our identities, our capabilities, and our futures are not fixed, but excuses make them feel as though they are. Excuses also limit our potential by creating a pattern of procrastination. When we make excuses, we tend to delay taking action, thinking we'll start when we're ready or when conditions improve, yet readiness is often a byproduct of doing, not waiting. Excuses give us a false sense of security, convincing us that tomorrow will be a better time to begin. But when tomorrow arrives, we often repeat the same excuses, pushing our dreams further into the future. This cycle of procrastination keeps us stagnant, while our potential to grow, learn, and evolve remains untapped. Excuses rob us of our potential by shifting responsibility. When we rely on excuses, we blame circumstances, other people, or even fate for our inaction. But reaching our potential requires taking ownership of our lives. We can't control every circumstance, but we can control our response to them. When we stop making excuses, we take responsibility for our growth. We develop resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. These qualities, not circumstances, are what enable us to reach our potential. In the end, killing excuses is essential for unlocking our potential. Excuses feel safe, but they keep us small. Our potential, on the other hand, requires courage. It requires us to face discomfort, to take action, and to believe that we are capable of change. When we kill our excuses, we free ourselves to pursue our goals, to grow, and to become the person we're meant to be. By challenging our excuses, we expand our limits, opening the door to a life that isn't restricted by fear, doubt, or circumstances. Instead of choosing the comfort of excuses, we choose the empowerment of action, and in doing so, we step into our fullest potential. At the core of every excuse lies an underlying fear that often goes unacknowledged. We create excuses to justify our inaction or hesitation, shielding ourselves from the discomfort of confronting our fears head-on. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown, these emotions can be paralyzing, inhibiting our ability to pursue our goals and realize our potential. Understanding the intricate relationship between excuses and fear is crucial for overcoming the barriers that hold us back. Fear of failure is perhaps the most common excuse generator. Many individuals hold a belief that failure is synonymous with unworthiness or inadequacy. This fear can manifest in numerous ways, from procrastination to self-sabotage. When faced with a challenging task or the prospect of pursuing a significant goal, the thought of failing can lead to a powerful urge to retreat into the safety of excuses. Phrases like "I'm not ready" or "I don't have what it takes" serve as shields, protecting us from the possibility of falling short. However, by allowing this fear to dictate our actions, we not only limit our chances of success, but also miss out on valuable learning experiences. Failure, in reality, is often a stepping stone to growth. Each failure offers insights that can guide us toward improvement and ultimately lead us to success. The fear of rejection also plays a significant role in generating excuses. Many people shy away from opportunities that involve sharing their ideas, seeking new relationships, or pursuing new ventures because they fear being judged or turned away. This fear can be so overwhelming that it prompts individuals to say, "I'll wait until I'm more confident," or "I don't want to bother anyone in doing so." We construct barriers that prevent us from stepping outside our comfort zones. Yet it's essential to recognize that rejection is a natural part of life. Everyone faces rejection at some point. It's an experience that can be navigated with resilience and strength. When we allow the fear of rejection to dictate our choices, we close ourselves off from connections, collaborations, and experiences that could enrich our lives. Fear of the unknown can also be a formidable excuse maker. The unpredictability of change often instills anxiety in individuals, causing them to cling to familiar routines and environments even when they are no longer fulfilling. Statements like "I'm comfortable where I am" or "I don't want to take the risk" become rationalizations for remaining stagnant. However, embracing the unknown is essential for growth. The greatest achievements often lie just beyond the boundaries of our comfort zones. When we step into the unknown, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, experiences, and opportunities for personal development. It's essential to recognize that discomfort is a natural part of growth and that taking risks can lead to transformative experiences. Moreover, fear can breed a victim mentality. When we repeatedly make excuses, we often adopt a mindset that blames external factors for our limitations. We might convince ourselves that we are victims of circumstances beyond our control, such as a lack of resources, support, or opportunities. This mentality is disempowering as it removes our agency and ability to affect change in our lives. Instead of taking ownership of our choices and circumstances, we become passive observers, resigned to our situation. Breaking free from this cycle requires a shift in perspective. By recognizing that we have the power to influence our own paths, we can begin to dismantle the excuses that have held us captive. Understanding the roots of our fears is a crucial step in overcoming the excuses they generate. Self-reflection is key. Taking the time to identify what specifically we fear and why can provide clarity and insight. Journaling can be an effective tool in this process. Writing down our thoughts and feelings allows us to confront our fears on paper, transforming abstract anxieties into tangible challenges. Once we have identified the fears that fuel our excuses, we can begin to challenge them. For example, if the fear of failure is preventing us from pursuing a career change, we can remind ourselves that many successful individuals have faced failures along their journeys. By reframing our relationship with failure, we can view it as an opportunity for growth rather than a definitive endpoint. Additionally, seeking support from others can help us confront our fears and overcome excuses. Engaging with individuals who encourage and motivate us can provide the necessary perspective to push through the discomfort. Friends, family, mentors, or support groups can offer valuable insights and experiences that remind us we are not alone in our struggles. Sharing our fears with others can also alleviate the weight they carry, transforming them into collective challenges that we can tackle together. Taking action, even in small steps, is essential for breaking free from the cycle of excuses rooted in fear. The act of facing our fears head-on can be empowering. Rather than waiting for fear to subside, we can choose to move forward despite it. Each small victory chips away at the power that fear holds over us, reinforcing our belief in our ability to overcome obstacles. For instance, if social anxiety prevents us from networking, we can start by initiating small conversations with colleagues or attending low-pressure social gatherings. Each positive interaction builds confidence and reduces the grip of fear. Cultivating a growth mindset is another powerful strategy for addressing the fears that generate excuses. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. When we adopt this mindset, we become more resilient in the face of challenges. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, we begin to see them as opportunities to learn and grow. This shift in perspective allows us to embrace risks, take chances, and ultimately dismantle the excuses that hold us back. In conclusion, the relationship between excuses and fear is intricate and deeply rooted in our psychology. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of the unknown can all generate a plethora of excuses that inhibit our potential and prevent us from pursuing our goals. Recognizing these fears and understanding their impact on our actions is essential for overcoming the barriers they create. By practicing self-reflection, seeking support, taking action, and cultivating a growth mindset, we can confront our fears and dismantle the excuses that limit us. It's time to embrace discomfort, take risks, and unlock our true potential. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards of confronting our fears and killing our excuses are immeasurable. Accountability is a powerful catalyst for personal growth and empowerment. When we hold ourselves accountable for our actions, choices, and outcomes, we step into a space of responsibility that propels us toward our goals. This sense of ownership fosters a mindset that empowers us to take control of our lives, make informed decisions, and ultimately achieve the outcomes we desire. By understanding how accountability works and embracing it as a guiding principle, we can unlock our true potential and break free from the limitations that excuses impose. At its core, accountability is about acknowledging our role in the results we experience. It requires us to take a hard look at ourselves and recognize that we have the power to influence our circumstances. This shift in mindset is essential because it empowers us to realize that we are not victims of our situations, but rather active participants in shaping our destinies. When we accept responsibility for our choices, we no longer have the luxury of blaming external factors or circumstances. Instead, we are compelled to reflect on our decisions and consider how they align with our goals and aspirations. One of the most significant benefits of accountability is that it fosters a growth mindset. When we hold ourselves accountable, we begin to see challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning rather than as failures. This perspective shift encourages us to take risks, try new things, and embrace the possibility of making mistakes. After all, mistakes are often the best teachers. They provide us with valuable lessons that can guide our future actions and decisions. By reframing our view of failure, we empower ourselves to step outside our comfort zones and pursue our goals with renewed vigor. Accountability also enhances our commitment to our goals. When we set specific objectives and hold ourselves accountable for achieving them, we are more likely to stay focused and motivated. This commitment creates a sense of purpose that drives our actions. Rather than drifting through life without direction, we develop a clear roadmap to follow which aligns our efforts with our desired outcomes. As we track our progress and celebrate our achievements, no matter how small, we reinforce our commitment to our goals and build momentum that propels us forward. Moreover, accountability encourages us to seek feedback and support from others. When we recognize that we are responsible for our success, we become more open to constructive criticism and guidance. Engaging with mentors, coaches, or peers can provide valuable insights and perspectives that help us grow and improve. This willingness to seek input from others not only fosters collaboration but also reinforces our accountability. But when we share our goals with others, we create a sense of community that holds us accountable for our progress. Knowing that someone else is aware of our ambitions can serve as a powerful motivator to stay on track and overcome obstacles. In addition to enhancing our personal growth, accountability can also strengthen our relationships with others. When we are accountable for our actions and decisions, we build trust and credibility with those around us. People are more likely to respect and support us when they see that we take responsibility for our choices. This trust is foundational for healthy relationships, whether in our personal lives or professional endeavors. As we demonstrate accountability, we inspire others to embrace the same principle, creating a culture of responsibility and empowerment within our communities. Another aspect of accountability is the ability to set clear boundaries and expectations for ourselves. When we hold ourselves accountable, we clarify what we want to achieve and the steps necessary to reach our goals. This process involves setting realistic expectations for our performance and being honest about our capabilities. By defining our goals and creating a plan to achieve them, we establish a framework for accountability that guides our actions. This clarity allows us to prioritize our time and energy effectively, ensuring that we focus on what truly matters to us. However, embracing accountability is not always easy. It requires us to confront our shortcomings, acknowledge our mistakes, and accept that we may not always meet our own expectations. This vulnerability can be uncomfortable as it forces us to let go of the excuses that protect us from criticism and judgment. Yet it is precisely in this discomfort that empowerment begins. By facing our fears and accepting responsibility for our actions, we cultivate resilience and strength. We learn to navigate challenges with grace, adapt to changing circumstances, and persevere in the face of adversity. A key element of accountability is self-reflection. Regularly assessing our progress and evaluating our actions is vital to holding ourselves accountable. This practice allows us to identify patterns in our behavior, recognize areas for improvement, and celebrate our successes. Self-reflection can take various forms, such as journaling, meditation, or simply setting aside time to think about our experiences. By engaging in this process, we deepen our understanding of ourselves and gain clarity about our goals and values. This heightened self-awareness enhances our ability to make informed decisions and take intentional actions that align with our aspirations. In a world where distractions and competing priorities abound, accountability serves as a guiding light. It keeps us focused on our goals and reminds us of the importance of following through on our commitments. When we encounter setbacks or challenges, accountability encourages us to reassess our strategies and adapt as needed. Instead of succumbing to frustration or despair, we can view obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset shift transforms adversity into a stepping stone toward our goals, reinforcing our belief in our ability to overcome challenges. Ultimately, accountability leads to empowerment by fostering a sense of agency in our lives. When we recognize that we are in control of our choices and actions, we cultivate a profound sense of responsibility that motivates us to take charge of our lives. This empowerment is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about acknowledging that we are all human, that we will make mistakes, and that growth is a continuous journey. Embracing accountability allows us to approach this journey with courage and resilience, knowing that we have the power to shape our destinies. In conclusion, accountability is a transformative principle that leads to empowerment. By taking ownership of our actions and choices, we break free from the limitations imposed by excuses and self-doubt. Accountability fosters a growth mindset, enhances our commitment to our goals, and encourages us to seek feedback and support from others. It strengthens our relationships and clarifies our objectives, providing a roadmap for success. While embracing accountability may involve confronting discomfort and vulnerability, it ultimately empowers us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. By committing to accountability, we unlock our potential and take decisive steps toward the lives we envision for ourselves. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards of empowerment and personal growth are immeasurable.